Hey guys, Heidi Ho. So sorry I haven't posted any videos for a little while. The doctor people tell me I had 2 strokes, and it's been a little hard for me to get around. My number one priority has been to get out here to the greenhouse and prune these tomatoes. They're turning into a mess. I've got 13 out of 20 in that row done, and it's pretty easy to tell where I've been and where I haven't. Anyhow, I'm going to try and get the rest done today. Sorry for the shaky camera. I was itching my nose. And I promised my daughter-in-law that I would do a video and show her how to do this. And I'm hard pruning these tomatoes to get them to produce as much fruit as I possibly can. So, yeah, we're getting close. And as soon as things start to ripen up out here, I'll be selling tomatoes. And then right away, within the next few days, I've got to get some more wire up and work on this row because it's getting overgrown. So anyhow, I'm way behind on all of this stuff. And let's do some tomato plants, and I'll show you how to do one. So, it's about 9:30 in the morning, and it's already really hot here in the greenhouse. It's about 98 degrees if you're Celsican kind of country. That's like 37-ish, maybe. And so I've been trying to get out here and do a few every morning. And like I say, I promised my daughter-in-law how I do to show her how I do this with this video. And we're going to start here. I've got 3 or 4 done here on this end. And we're going to come up to this next one and start right down here in the bottom. And you can see, let's see if I can see the camera here. That's the main stem of this tomato plant, coming up out of the hole I cut in the landscape fabric early this spring. And I've got a lot of lettuce growing in here, and I need to get it trimmed out. But this here, anything coming up out of the ground besides the main stem, we need to chop that out. Okay. Now we're going to follow the main stem up. Got an old clippy here. I'll do a different video on those. And any place where, now here's the main stem. Let's see if I can get this out of my way. I'm going to clip this so I can see the camera too. See what you're seeing. So the main stem comes up and goes this way. And here's a branch right here. And it's broken, but it's still a branch. I'm going to trim it off. Okay. Get it out of my way. And then this is a sucker, and you need to think about, let me come up here. Say the tomato plant's standing on its head, okay? And anytime you have an arm coming out, right, you're looking for an arm growing out of an armpit. And those need to come out. So, we clip that branch off down here, right there. And this is a sucker. A big one. So I need to cut it out of here as well. They just take energy away from the main plant. And that's a great big dude. And suckers will produce fruit. Alright? But not as much as the main plant. And we're hacking this tomato pretty hard because we want it, there's another sucker, we want it to think it's being attacked all the time. You can pinch some of these out, don't have to cut them. Now I'm following the main stems. I get up here, and that's the main stem, and this is a branch coming out here that was, and this is another sucker. And you got to do a little thinking about this to figure out who's what. Okay, now we came up, and here's where I clipped the tomato about a month ago, and there's a branch coming out right here. See it? I need to clean and chop my fingernails, looks like. And here is another sucker. It needs to come off. And you can see where they've been laying on the ground, they're even trying to make roots. So I'm going to take a bunch of these suckers with me. I broke a branch right here, but that's okay. I'm going to take a bunch of these suckers up to the house with me. When I go, look how big that sucker is. And we're taking a lot of weight off of the whole system because, you know, I've got this heavy wire up here. And I've tied all this baling string to it. And all these tomatoes are hanging on it. When they get fruit on them, it's going to get even heavier. But you can see, this is really heavy. This is 9-gauge wire, farm fits. And you can see how it's sagging down through here. Because all the weight already. And a lot of that weight is these suckers. So you can even get suckers on a branch. Clip those bad boys off. Alright, so here we are. We're at the main branch. Come back to it. And we come up. Here's another branch. And a sucker. Those are going. Now there is some controversy about whether you should do this or not. My aim is to keep these tomato plants thinking they're being attacked. There goes another one. And if they think the purpose of a tomato plant is to procreate, continue the species, to make baby tomatoes. And if they're being attacked, they get in gear and start making more tomatoes for me. And really put everything they can into producing fruit. So we're going to come up, and I'm going to bring this up, and I've clipped, I think, all the suckers I could find out of here. And I'm going to bring it up and put a tomato clippy on it. And I'll do a different video on these clippies probably in 1 or 2 days when I start working on that other row and how they work, because they really are the bomb. I've got one there. I just ordered another big batch of clippies. I'm getting out of breath. It's really hot in here. See little roots on here. Okay, sorry guys for the interruption there. I don't know if you heard it. Mrs. Goat Hollow was going off to do some errands, and she called me up to the house. Anyhow, let me get one of these suckers here. The spotted one. You can see on some of these where they've been laying on the ground. Here we go. There's one. And they're already trying to make roots. And you can clone the tomato plant that way. And you can get suckers, even suckers on suckers. But you can clone a tomato plant, and it'll be genetically the same as the parent plant. Now, these up on this end of this row are a variety called Early Girl. And they're a hybrid. Hybrids are the product of natural breeding, a little bit manipulated by man. Here's some roots trying to start on the main stem, but that's different from a genetically modified plant, where they actually go in and take something like a frog gene or a bacteria gene and put it into the plant. And that's where things get, nasty and cancerous and blah, blah, blah. So, I've got to get out here every week and redo these and get this jungle cleaned up so I can even get through in here and produce as many tomatoes as I can. I just saw one that was starting to ripen for me. There we go. He's turning on up red. Can you see him? Anyhow, in a week I'll start producing tomatoes for sale. And my goal, I've got 40 plants in the hoop house here. And my goal by the end of the year is to make 600 pounds of tomatoes. So wish me luck. And if I can sell them for $2 a pound, that'll give me enough money to build my other greenhouse and do a couple things. Next step on the pruning, by the way, we're down here at the base, and I come up, and right here is the first set of fruit. So everything below that needs to go, including regular branches. So we're going to get all the weight off of it. Get some weight off of that wire up there. And we're going to make the tomato plant think it's being attacked and make it put on more tomatoes. Quick, hurry up quick and have some babies. Anything that's in between here, I want to clean up a little bit so nobody's touching. Tomato diseases, viruses, etc. live in the ground, and water hits the ground and splashes up on the leaves, and that's how the plant gets disease. So a lot of the blights and reticulum wilt and things, now these are hybrids, so they're relatively resistant, but and sorry this video is getting so long, you guys, but it's kind of an important issue, and some people say don't do it. These are what's called indeterminate tomatoes, which means they're vining, right? And keep growing throughout the season until they get a frost and get killed. So you don't want to do that with determinate tomatoes, which is a bush tomato that you can keep contained in a tomato cage. But these you want to keep pruning weekly, hopefully, if you don't have a stroke, and all season long. So anyhow, Kayla, there you go, my daughter-in-law, and hopefully that'll give you some information on how I'm doing this to produce more tomatoes from the tomato plants that I have. So, all right, we'll get through this. You guys have a good time. I'll try to post more videos as I get better in better physical shape, and we'll go from there and we'll get through this.